Hello and welcome back to Fire Emblem Three Houses. We're about to have a support with Setheth, or at least I assume that's what this is. So let's go do that.
Professor, a moment. I am sorry that I doubted your ability. I deeply regret ever holding such a view of you. It is obvious to me now that you are extraordinary. Do you doubt your own power, even now? I suppose that's only natural. You've lived your whole life knowing next to nothing about yourself. Not even Gerald could have possibly known all there is to know about you. But I wonder, are you satisfied with that? Are you content, not knowing who you are? Or do you yearn to know more?
I definitely yearn to know more.
That was a foolish question, of course. You are not the sort to be complacent. So, only one more question matters. Are you ready?
Sure.
The truth. All of it. Learning it will doubtlessly have direct consequences on your life. I do not know what those will be.
The truth will set you free,
Decide,
Setheth.
once you learn it, that you wish you hadn't.
Nope.
But even if you have such regrets, you will never be able to return to ignorance. So, are you ready to know the truth?
Lay it on me. In the next
I
support,
see.
probably.
That is what I wish to hear. The Archbishop continues to put her faith in you, and so you will continue to have my aid. More than that, I will put my faith in you as well, and I will do all that is within my power to help you someday reach the truth.
Dang it, Setheth! And I wasn't actually expecting him to tell me anything useful, but... Hilda's birthday, alright. Alright, here's one of your favorite tea types, Hilda.
Wow, thanks for inviting me.
You're welcome.
Whoa, you got my favorite tea.
Well, that's direct.
Oh, wow, thanks.
Gotta be this. Yeah. Probably this. Yeah. Art racing doesn't necessarily have to mean romantic, but it certainly could. Dang it.
My mind keeps drifting today.
As opposed to other days. Yes! Nailed it.
Thanks for the tea. I hope you'll invite me again.
Charm bonus. Oh, more tea time. Alright. Alright, here's some honeyed fruit blend that Hanneman likes.
My room works better for me, but I am willing to compromise. For today. My, but you have exquisite taste in tea. This is one of my favorites. I always try to keep some around. Thank you. Delightfully warming. Indeed.
Gotta be working together. Oh no!
What?
The library's collection?
Yes.
Yeah. He blushes about it.
What?
What? Ugh.
Well,
Alright. Good enough.
the crest of flames shares many traits with other crests, yet it also has many unique characteristics.
I'm sure.
Yes, yes.
Huzzah! Tea time master, mostly.
Thank you for a wonderful time, Professor.
Yay, charm bonus! So much charm. Alright, we got our Enlightened One certification.
What a strange feeling.
Well, it looks like that does look significantly better for the male Byleth versus female Byleth. Oh, I can't see that from... Oh, I have to go to certifications, I think. Yeah, I mean, he still got that dopey-looking collar and those silly dangly bits on the right side, but the black stuff underneath looks better, and there's it doesn't have the ridiculous pants. And I like the armored part of this. It just is like a little too busy in some other ways. I think it would actually look slicker without the knee armor right side. Maybe. I don't know. Purple lining is cool. I like purple. I feel like if you look at this from the right angle, it looks pretty good. No, the collar doesn't. Alright, enough fashion show. So we do have some supports. Or maybe just one. Well, one is more than zero.
Now then, where is that book on dance?
Hello, Flane. I'm curious if you could confirm some suspicions I have.
Hello, Linhart. What is it?
I've recently been lost in study on the topic of Saint Sethlene. You're familiar with her life, yes?
I know a little of her, as do many. But what does this have to do with me?
Interesting that you would ask that. Your question betrays your understanding of my inquiry.
I am quite certain that it does not, as a matter of fact.
I have interviewed several members of the Academy and the monastery. All agree that you have trouble focusing on detail-oriented work. As I mentioned, I have been carefully researching Saint Sethlene's history, and I found several intriguing anecdotes concerning her life. Granted, it is not stated explicitly in the texts, but it is easy enough to read between the lines and get to the underlying truth. The authors of several tomes, all written within 50 years of Saint Sethlene's passing, imply she found it difficult to maintain focus on detail-oriented tasks. Then, just this morning, as I was studying statues of Saint Sethlene, I came to realize how similar her visage is to your own. Interesting, no?
I do not appreciate your disrespectful approach to this topic.
No disrespect intended, I assure you. Saint Sethlene is a major saint. I only mean to say that looking like her is an honor.
I actually meant that you are being disrespectful to Saint Sethlene.
There was one other item.
If you must.
You are quite skilled in white magic, yes? My understanding is that you have a very high affinity for the art.
Yes, I do. I am confident in my abilities. I am glad of my abilities, for it is a way in which I am able to help others.
Indeed. Once more an echo of Saint Sethlene. I'm so curious as to why such similarities exist. Her crest? Perhaps hereditary traits then? Or is it possible I am allowing myself to see patterns where there are none?
I am very busy searching for a book. I will be going now.
Well, we already know what's going on there, but I actually did see that support during my Black Eagles playthrough, but I let it play out because I didn't really... Last time I was just like, oh yeah, that is interesting. Maybe she is related to Saint Sethlene. Okay. Now I'm like, oh yeah. Alright, time to go exploring. Looks like next weekend is going to be the weekend where we battle this month. No.
In town earlier, there seemed to be more people around than usual. Is there some festival this month that I'm forgetting about?
Yeah, I think there is.
Kranya, Solon, they're dead, but we still have a glut of enemies. We still have to take down the Death Knight and the Flame Emperor. Our next battle is fast approaching. I'm ready for it.
Professor, please. If he hears it from you that he needs to rest, perhaps His Highness will listen.
He's exaggerating. He thinks my color is off and that rest will cure all. I have a headache, but that's just from lack of sleep. It's not going to stop me from completing this month's mission.
Wait. You literally just said... He thinks my color is off and rest will cure all. I have a headache, but that's just from lack of sleep. That literally is solved by resting. Like, what's wrong with you?
The professor agrees. Please rest, at least until the task is at hand.
I won't. Even if I tried, it's not like I would get any decent sleep. It would only be a waste of time.
Magic tournament. And... oh, it's a black magic tournament again, so... get out of here, Lysithia, I guess. I wonder if Lorenz is getting to use...
compete with me?
Oh my gosh. What? Did he activate something? Or did that guy really only have 26 HP? Now, I wonder if he's getting to use Fiendish Blow here. I guess he probably is. Yeah. How intimidating.
Naturally. A trivial victory.
Is Annette even a magic user normally?
Naturally.
Look at Hubert, he can do 5 whole damage.
You're outclassed.
Good job, Lorenz. And we got an advanced seal that we don't need. Hooray.
You look so different. You're still our professor in there, right? Did
far as
anything
I
else
know.
change besides your hair and eyes? Are your arms bigger? How do your abs look? Really? You gotta teach me how to do that.
So hungry. Oh, is that you, Professor? Sorry. I'm really not feeling well this month. Even leaving my room for dinner is just too much. It's got nothing to do with your, changes. So, don't open the door, please.
Yes? So, this month's mission is to take part in a ritual at the Holy Tomb, where you will receive a revelation from the goddess herself. What if she really appears? What if I finally get to gaze upon her radiance?
She's not that
I've
impressive.
always imagined the goddess. How beautiful she must be.
I can't even imagine what it must be like inside the Holy Tomb. Well, it's probably a grave, that much is for sure, and it's likely underground. Beyond that, who knows? I can't help but wonder, though, just what kind of ritual is this?
In Brigid, we have legends. Stories containing people who have a spirit living inside of them. Those spirit people have much strength. They are maybe able to fly in the air or race across the ocean. Hair that shines and eyes that glow. They have qualities that are not unlike what you are looking like, Professor. Do not have doubt, Professor. The powers you have are like the powers of the legends.
Man, I swear whoever Well, I swear somebody who worked in this game must have read some Brandon Sanderson between the stuff that's similar to Mistborn and the stuff, like, what she said was, like, straight out of the other big series. So Stormlight Archives.
Greetings, Professor. Nothing to report. Although, I suppose, you are something to report. For a moment, I thought you were someone suspicious. Lucky for you, I am quite perceptive. It took only that single moment for me to recognize you. The Professor went out and got some new power.
You've been granted this power by the goddess herself. Truly, you must be a very special individual. Maybe Seros transformed before receiving her revelation too.
Maybe.
I haven't heard anything about that before. Maybe that part never found its way into the legend?
It is told that Seros had a revelation, instructing her to use her power for good, and to lead the people of Fodlan to salvation. I wonder what sort of revelation you might have, Professor.
If only I got one.
Those students of yours will soon graduate and become unreachable royalty and nobility. You should show them respect now, or you might find yourself out of a job someday. No. One look at your students' faces, and it's apparent that would never happen. Even when your kids graduate, I bet they'll still think fondly of you. You'll always be professor to them.
Or teach, as the case may be.
People who live an inordinately long time, people whose hair changes color, and those odd heroes' relics. Is Fodlan some mystical land full of inhuman creatures? You should see for yourself. I'd recommend exploring west of the Empire.
I recently had an errand to run, and so I had to pass by the office. I didn't mean to, but I overheard Lady Rhea and Sedith arguing. Actually, it was more like Sedith was interrogating Lady Rhea.
You're so strong now. I'm starting to understand why you were appointed professor.
Sometimes, I find myself thinking I should leave Garrigmach and return to my home, where I should have been all along. Ignore me. I'm sorry. It's a silly thing. An old man's ramblings and nothing more. I hear that Lady Rhea will accompany you for this month's task. She's the pillar that supports the hearts of Fodlan's people. Her safety is paramount. I hope there are no complications.
I'm sure everything will be fine.
Kranya. Kranya is dead. And so is Solon, by your hand. Taking vengeance with your own hand. I'm sure Gerald would be proud.
When you changed, even the other professors were taken completely by surprise. There's a ritual at the Holy Tomb this month, isn't there? I wonder what'll happen with that. I'm sure you'll be all right, but don't lose sight of who you really are, okay? However you may change, and whatever new power goes along with those changes, you'll still be the same person deep down. Remember that.
In our battle last month, we really cut the enemy down to size. But there are other enemies we have yet to hunt down, not least the Flame Emperor. Once we've crushed them all, we can return to our peaceful lives at the monastery. It will happen soon. I have a feeling something big is coming.
Yeah, I'll bet you're real into peace, Catherine.
Whoa, when I first saw you, Professor, with that hair color and that eye color, I thought you looked kind of like Lady Rhea. Like maybe you could be related. I like the way it looks. I wonder if I could change my hair color too. Maybe if I tried hard enough. If I thought real hard about it, I mean.
You could just dye it.
All I need to do is get trapped up in a strange place and then escape, right? Just like you did.
Sure.
Oh, Professor! I'm sorry. That was rude. I didn't recognize you for a second. No, not at all. I'm just not used to it. It really suits you, though.
How are you, Professor? Did Hanneman make his "I will do no harm" speech or promise this won't hurt a bit when he asked to study? Both? I've a bit of research I'd like to perform. Nothing so crass as Hanneman's poking, prodding, and drawing of blood. No, I wish to investigate crest power itself. Crest power must have some kind of limit, right? Lady Rhea says any limits must be the protection of the goddess, but that doesn't quite answer it for me.
Long ago, Saint Seros was gifted with a divine revelation from the goddess, as well as incredible power. Is that what happened to you too, Professor?
No way! The professor transformed before receiving any kind of divine revelation, right? Still, I wonder, does the fact that you've changed really mean you've been granted some kind of power?
If that's the case, then what sort of revelation can be gained from the ritual?
I'm guessing the revelation will just be a gentle reminder to use this new power to save the people of Fodlan. What else is there to say? You don't actually believe we're going to hear the voice of the goddess, do you?
Nope.
Your hair! And your eyes! What happened to you?
You were there!
You didn't lose something as a consequence of gaining these powers, did you?
I see. Well, that makes me feel better. But still, be careful.
I can see why that would. I can see why that would alarm Lysithea.
Edelgard and Hubert have been busier than usual. Constantly coming and going, in and out of Garreg Mach. Perhaps they are doing something in the Empire. As the legitimate heir of the Ayer family, I have not heard anything about it. But if it were significant, I am sure my father would have told me.
Oh, yeah.
Hey, Teach, is it okay for you to be out on your own right now? Just please be careful not to topple over again. You scared us nearly to death. Anyway, doesn't Rhea want something from you? Sounds important. I'm glad I'll be there to witness the ritual at the Holy Tomb. I want to see whether or not something happens with my own eyes.
So is the toppling over in the earlier, like, oh, I'm tired, I got dizzy thing, is that related to the whole, like, pass out for 5 years before the time skip? Maybe it is. Maybe that's what's going on.
Ah! Professor, sorry. You gave me a shock. Your hair and eye color are completely different. You just don't look like yourself anymore. Of course, you're right. I'm just being silly as usual.
I have great love for the sea, but Garreg Mach has too much distance from it. I am needing to be inside the water soon. What is the best place for swimming? The tea here does absolutely nothing for me. I could send for some supplies from home, but is there truly not a soul in this place with tea fit for a noble? We've been over this, Ferdinand. I sent Lorenz to you already.
Mind all things considered, this year has been rather terrible. As far as the students are concerned, next month is the last one of the school year. Next month, we will hold the graduation ceremony, though it'll be an understandably subdued affair. This month, we ask that you carry out your duties as best you can, to ensure that our students remain calm.
To be honest, I cannot keep up with all that's been happening recently. Monica was actually Kranya. Tomas was actually Solon. Who were these people? What about you, Professor? You were a true ally, yes?
Of course.
Not the most convincing answer you could have given. Still, I simply must take you at your word.
The Holy Tomb, huh? I've worked here for years, and this is the first I've heard of it. I mean, it does make some sense. Sort of. Something about it is still weird. I understand now why they'd build the monastery in the mountainous center of Fodlan. Although, when the monastery was built, the Kingdom and Alliance weren't even around yet. But look how cleverly it was placed, right in the middle of the Empire, Kingdom, and Alliance. That's weird, right?
It is weird. I mean, the church did take steps to at least help the formation of the kingdom. I don't know about the alliance, but it may be that they see the having multiple competing powers as a way to prevent anybody from going after the church.
Recently, Professor, I feel as though you've been a bit distant. It's like you're sort of floating above the clouds, separate from other people. And like you've got no interest at all in ever coming back down. How can I help? maybe I'd ask and see what you'd say.
Are you positive? Really? Your appearance is due to the influence of the Crest of Flames? Intriguing. Unfortunately, I have found no record of Nemesis's hair and eye color ever changing.
I don't think
However,
they did.
If that transformation was brought on in part by the power of the crest, that would be most, well, I suppose interesting is too small a word. Still, it would be an absolutely exceptional discovery. To know for certain, we must investigate further. So, close off. What? A full physical is in order, yes? We need to know if this transformation affected you adversely. Don't worry, it won't hurt a bit.
You haven't even shut the door, Hanneman.
Professor, I am so happy! Your new hair and eye color suit you well. We make quite the pair. But recently, I sense that things are a bit strained between Lady Rhea and my brother. She wants to do something at the Holy Tomb. I do not know what, but... Whenever it has concluded, I hope they will return to their friendship, as it has always been.
Captain. Oh, Professor. How long have you been standing there? I didn't see you. I was just sorting through Captain Gerald's belongings. I haven't made much progress. I keep finding things that bring back memories. Clearing out this room of his belongings again, it's not easy.
You haven't a thing to worry about. You have been gifted the power of the goddess. Furthermore, you have overcome the death of your father, Gerald, and you have destroyed countless of our wicked foes. I am proud, so very proud of who you have become. Once we finish the ritual at the Holy Mausoleum,
Rhea doing the fist
all
pump
will be
just
well.
always looks so weird.
Ah, it is you. I am sorry, but I have a lot on my mind. I would prefer to be alone right now.
Alright, I did unlock a couple of supports. So, start with Ash.
Hey, Professor, did I ever tell you what happened with that thief? I went after him, and I did manage to catch up, but... Sort of. I actually decided not to make him pay for it. My pockets were pretty empty after that incident, if you want to know the truth. Well, what happened was, when I caught him, I asked him why he stole the book. He said he thought it would fetch a good price, and that he really needed the money. He had a sick kid and couldn't pay for medicine. Oh, maybe you're right. But if he really did have a sick child, that would be a matter of life and death. A little money is nothing compared to that. I'd rather believe a lie than risk someone's life if I'm wrong. And to be completely honest, there was a time when I wasn't so different from him.
The only thing about that line of reasoning is, well, depending on where you live and where you spend your time, you could end up giving away a lot of money to random strangers.
It was a long time ago, and I've put all that behind me now. But yes, I was. My parents died of illness, so I had to provide for my little brother and sister. I did my best to earn money for them legitimately, but I wasn't able to bring home enough. So I turned to thieving. From people on the streets, from shops, even from soldiers. I knew it was wrong, but seeing my brother and sister's smiling faces made me too happy to stop. I really regret that part of my life. I was stupid. But shortly after I turned 9, I crept into a local noble's mansion, aiming to steal whatever I could get my hands on.
Leonardo.
The noble had all sorts of valuables, but what really caught my eye was a book with a fancy cover. That book was Lug and the Maiden of Wind. The knight in the illustrations was so impressive I just couldn't tear my eyes away. You probably see where this is going. Moments after I grabbed the book, I was caught in the act by the noble. And that noble was none other than Lenato.
Of course.
But Lenato was incredibly kind. Without asking any questions, he gave me the book. And money, too. When I told him I couldn't read, he invited me into his mansion, along with my brother and sister. He taught me how to read, personally. So, with the thief I caught in town, I was trying to do the same thing. To be like Lenato. I want to make up for the bad things I've done. To leave this world better than I found it. That's why, even if it wasn't easy on my pockets, I'm proud to say I helped him.
Wow, what are these responses? Man. Ugh.
I know what you're trying to say. My contribution probably won't change much. And it's not like I have the money to help everyone who's suffering from poverty. Even so, I can't bear to stand by and do nothing. What else could I have done, Professor?
Well, not. Obviously. Alright, so this one I may end up skipping, depending on whether it's actually substantively different than it is with, I guess, with female Byleth.
Huh? Professor? Please take my apologies. I lost time while I was training. There are not many chances for real fighting here. My body is more weak than it was. Weaker, I mean. I will keep training now. I hope your night is good. I need to have more training. There are things that I have not done yet. Things that have to be done. For the future. I have to try with hardness. Training, studying, socializing. I will not always be having time to do those things. And speaking the language of Fodlan, I worry I will never be doing it just right. Why? Because the position of Bridget is weak. Fodlan and Dagda are big. Bridget is a small island in the middle of them. Bridget has great beauty, but little power. We will not survive unless we get more strength. I will lead Bridget, and so I have responsibility. I have to have more strength than anyone. Having more strength than anyone might be impossible, but I have to give it my best try. I am an ally of everyone, and I have belonging at the Officers' Academy. That is also why I try with hardness. You can always be counting on me. But you should know that one of these days will be when I return to Bridget. Before that day, do not try stopping me from trying. And please, keep watching over me. With you, I can try with more hardness than I could alone.
Oh gosh. Okay, I can't cut that because how would anybody not want to get to watch the support where she says try with hardness 3 times? Now let's go ahead and cook with Bernadetta, I guess. We're gonna cook.
A little more secret.
Eating food always fires. That looks appetizing.
This is...
This?
The flavor is
Ooh. I
I would be liking that.
Oh, my face!
I did not expect...
This is new.
Yeah, you...
That.
Alright, so I unlocked a whole bunch more sports, as tends to be the case with the these bonus meal times. So I am not going to do those this episode. I definitely do not have time. I think I got one more on map support for Byleth. I will just do that off screen, I think, because it's a support with Felix and I've seen it before. So yeah, we'll stop this episode here, and next time do a bunch of supports and then a rare monster battle. So until then.